Hello and welcome to episode, I believe, 29.
It's an episode
of the What Say You podcast. I am Sal Volcano.
I'm Brian Quinn.
And today we're coming to you from Nashville, Tennessee. We are here for the Vince Vaughn's Wild West Comedy Festival.
Yes.
And because of that, we have the good fortune to be with many of our good friends. And because of that, today we have guests.
Oh, we do.
Yes, good ones.
Very good guests. You gentlemen want to just dive right in? You want to just introduce yourselves?
Sure. My name's Steve Byrne, and it is a pleasure to be here.
There you go.
My name's Roy.
Oh,
That's it.
Oh, okay.
Roy Wood Jr. is back, bitches. Fuck Rod Stewart.
Last time you were on, Roy, you told the story about Rod Stewart being out in that prick. And what's going on? What's going on?
Sorry.
You know what?
Before the show, we were talking about
they are not good looking.
All for One.
They are not good
Okay.
looking at all, though.
Let me see.
No, but not at all. Like, there's nothing redeeming.
So
Are you
remember,
talking about them now? Or them
we're
then?
talking about the boy band in the 90s
God.
that sang I Swear, All for One. They were really big.
Right.
And then I was talking about how I don't think any, like, as a dude, you can look at a boy band and go, I get it, they're good looking dudes, or at least there's that dude. Like with them, there's not one good looking dude in the band. They look like the night shift at Radio Shack.
That's fucking weird.
that
That guy
picture.
with that little mustache looks really bizarre.
It's like 4 grenades. We were doing a sound check, and you started singing I Swear.
And I swear by the moon. I mean, they're just awful.
So I didn't remember what they were. I was confusing them with Color Me Bad.
Yeah.
And then you just pulled that up. And if you have was that one of the first images on a Google search?
Yeah.
Google search All for One. It looks just like like the high school Misfits.
They do look like an old high school quartet. It never really panned out.
They look like 4 guys that should be in a Time Warner cable van, like going around and
God,
installing.
You just nailed it.
Yeah.
Right. Like they come to your house and you're like, I don't know if I want to tell them I live alone. Like that's that type of thing.
I should preface all this talk with I would fit right in. I don't think it's anything special about me. I look at them, I see myself.
Right.
I'm just disparaging myself in the same breath. But
Well, the good thing about us is since we got on TV when we're essentially middle-aged is the decline's already happened. Nobody's ever going to look at us.
What
and say,
happened to you?
Right. It happened already.
Yeah.
Like, we're living the aftermath.
we're the after picture.
Right.
My whole life has just been an after photo.
So that's
There's
when you
never been a
start your
before
career.
Sal. There's never been a before Sal. Maybe like in my teens there was, but like most of my life has been after.
Right.
Like if you take a picture of 10 years ago and a picture like right now, it's just 2 after.
When do you
photos.
think you were your most handsome? Give me the year. Give me like what age? How old were you?
I'm gonna go with
Just you were killing those chicks with your fucking Lee dungarees on.
yeah.
Dudes were buying drinks.
I feel like probably like the very first year of college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was still like really in
Nice.
good shape because I was still playing sports, but it just stopped. I had just stopped playing sports completely.
So
and
you still
I
had the sports body.
Just started smoking and drinking. So like the decline didn't happen yet.
What sports were you playing?
For the most part, hockey every day.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, like I used to be like every day, all day. But yeah, that was my big one.
Nice.
I mean, I haven't been on skates in 19 years, but no, maybe like 17 years.
Yeah.
I was 21, senior year of college. Unstoppable. Brand new Ford Focus. First model year of the Focus.
The premier year.
Year 2000. Yeah. So I had the new car nobody ever seen before.
Let me look up at 2000.
Yeah.
Power
2001.
windows?
Huh?
Power windows? You still
Oh,
gotta
of
do
course.
that?
No,
Yeah.
bitch. Power windows, all that. I had a spoiler. And that was around the same time that Fast and Furious, the whole franchise was starting to take off.
Yeah.
So it was cool to own one of those cars. And I just kept telling people, yeah, I'm going to trick it out in a minute. But I just got it.
But you put the spoiler on, or it came with the
It came with a spoiler. Not like the fat
Right.
Asian spoiler that goes up higher than the windshield. But
It's like a Ford Focus, right?
yeah, Ford Focus. Yeah, like pull up a 2001
Does a
Ford Focus.
spoiler have any place on a Focus?
Yeah, bitch, that's it.
It doesn't look like a Fast and the Furious.
Listen.
What are you talking about, Roy?
You put a fucking lower bumper on it. You lower it to the car.
No, that's a car that has like the Mary Kay emblem on the back.
It's not.
For more
Steve.
information on Mary Kay, you can contact me at
Consultant car.
There's no way. How do you analogize this to Fast and the
The
Furious?
picture that he pulled up doesn't have the spoiler spoiler. Let me tell you.
No, this is the car that gets run over or smashed through on the Fast and Furious. This is a prop car. That's not a real.
I love the confidence that you associate that with the smashing of the chicks. You're like, I was killing it. I had the focus. That looks like my grandma.
It looks like when you go to rent a car, it's the first option available.
No, that's the car they give you. You're like, nah, I don't want that one. I'll pay the extra $5.
No,
like $5 is a world of
You don't
difference.
understand, man. If you have a car,
we understand very clearly, Roy. You don't understand. You're bragging about a Ford Focus.
Bitch, I was 21.
And you're also a tall fellow.
Yeah,
like.
I was way like I'm right now. I'm 6'2", 260. In college, I was 6'2", 185. Like, dude,
wow.
I was fucking
I would love to
simple.
see a photo of
And
it.
I pull up on campus to some chick living in a dorm. I got a car. You know what that means?
Right,
Off-campus grocery shopping. I got you.
Right.
I was. That's when, if I was Samson, that's when my hair was the longest.
Speaking of hair, what type of hairstyle were you rocking then?
I've had the short military Caesar haircut my entire life.
You never did a kid and play like
No,
that?
my dad wouldn't let me. My
Really?
dad, I had
Wow.
a real militant father, like
Yeah.
on some Black Power. Don't follow what these goons doing, boy. Don't you do that shit.
Right.
And so I came home. The only time I had a fade was in the 6th grade, and this was like when Big Daddy Kane and Bobby Brown had just came out.
Yeah.
And so my dad went away on speaking engagements, and so he used to like travel around the
What did he
South.
do?
So,
What was his?
Well, he was a radio DJ, but he did commentary. So it's kind of like on some. I don't want to compare it to Al Sharpton because I don't want to make it seem like he leaned one way or the other. But he just went around to black events and just spoke about coming together as a people and don't let the fucking oppressive system. But he wasn't Black Panther with it. You know, he was respected.
He didn't hate white people.
Nah, he wasn't on that level. But he was like, y'all got to figure out what the evil white people doing. Now, these old white folks over here cool, but these motherfuckers over here.
Right.
So my dad leaves town for a week and a half. I go to the barber and I go, yo, let me get a fade. And my dad knew the barber. So my dad was an embedded reporter in Vietnam back in the day. And so that's how he met the barber.
Okay.
And so
They met in the shit.
correct. They met in the shit.
Right,
And so the barber, out of respect to my father, he goes, are you sure that your dad is going to allow this? I go, yes, sir. My daddy said I could have a fade. He gives me a fucking fade. I go home. 3 days later, my pops comes home. He just goes, get in the car.
Oh.
I go, what? He's just get in the car. It's Sunday morning, 7:30 a.m. We pull up in front of Pete Stone Style Shop, and Pete Stone is standing out front, and he goes in and cuts my fucking fade, cuts me bald to the scalp. And like, he called Pete to come open your fucking shop and fix my kid's head. And he fucking did it. And ever since then, I just never. It wasn't until my dad died that I even thought about putting an MC Hammer part in my head. Like, even then, I wouldn't be surprised if his ghost fucking appeared as soon as I left the barbershop.
What would be amazing
Motherfucker,
is
what you do?
if I have my clippers upstairs, actually, if we can give you a fade right now, then.
No,
If we-
I would
no,
never
all
take it. You're not licensed. Burn, you're most handsome. What age? Now?
12? 12 is
No, you're a handsome guy, man.
like-
Don't do that. You have a jawline. You have nice eyes. You have a svelte, but you're very in shape. You play sport.
Want me to
Come
leave
on,
you two alone?
come on. You know, guys, give us a minute.
All right, I'm listening.
No, but you know you're a handsome guy. You wear the hell out of a suit.
I think for a comedian, I'm decent, but I think just general public in Hollywood, in Pittsburgh, I might be a 7. Right. Hollywood, I'm a 4.
You're a
I'm
Pittsburgh
a Hollywood
7.
4. Pittsburgh 7, a Hollywood 4.
I don't think handsome works good for comics, entertainers. I don't think once you reach a certain level of attractiveness, no one's laughing at you anymore.
Oh, real quick, Roy asked me. He said after we got renewed for season 3, he goes. Now I might spoil myself. Is now a good time to buy a Chevy Celebrity? He did mention that to me earlier.
With a tail.
You know what, Quinn? When were
Who's
you?
a good-looking comic?
Yeah, I was going to ask you who is the exception to the rule? Who's a great comic who's handsome, or just who's a really fucking handsome comic who is?
I'd say Chris D'Elia.
Yeah.
Oh, he's like
D'Elia's
got that-
a handsome guy.
Yeah.
Owen's a handsome guy. Look, I mean, Dane Cook, he was the first guy where I was like, wow, chicks
Ripped,
dig this
chiseled.
dude.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
and,
right.
And even as a comic, I remember going to like Dublin's and seeing him perform, and he was just so energetic and stuff. I was like, oh man, That dude gets
Gary
a lot
Goldman's
of-
got some swag on stage too.
Who's
that?
Gary Goldman. Yeah, he's got a little.
Well, he
bit
played
of swag.
like Boston College. I mean, that's a.
Oh, but that doesn't count. He's got a fucking ex-jock body, man. That's fucking.
He looks like one of the guys in 300.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah, he looks like he does Pilates and stuff.
But he goes-
But I mean, like in a good way. Like, you know,
Yeah.
no, really, yoga, like all that core stuff is like where you want to go.
But see, I don't like hanging out with handsome comics either, because then when you want to get,
Well, why is that? Why is that?
Way to go.
It's so true, though. No, I'm telling you right now. No, if you can look at all the guys that weight train, do all that stuff, whatever, and you look at the guys that have the. You know when a guy walks by and you're like, oh, his body.
What?
Wait, you know, like
wait,
no,
what?
not like his body, but like, oh, I want.
Well,
like,
no. It's not even to say you went, oh, his body. That's the part that got
like,
me.
Like, you know, when you're like, if I can have even if you're flipping through the page of like a magazine to guys, I don't know, you know what I'm saying?
Wait,
no, we
I know
don't.
what you know. I know what you
Nobody
mean.
listening to this knows what
You
you're
two
saying.
need to get in a Ford Focus and get the fuck out of my face.
No, you know when you see a body, wherever it is, on a guy, you're like, oh, that's the kind of, I don't even want
Calves and
I don't
or
want
the
this-
shoulder
'cause
belts
there's all
and
different
shit.
kinds of good bodies, like, but I don't want that one. You know when you see the one you want, it's always the yoga one. I'm telling you, it begins in the core. I'm telling you, and it's
I'll tell you one. When I think I know what you're talking about. When I saw that new James Bond Casino Royale
he
and
comes out
Daniel
of the
Craig came
water.
out of the water, I'm like, I'm never getting laid. I want to see my parents. I mean, that's a different specimen of man.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
that made like when I saw him, I was like, I got to start working out now.
yeah.
Well, the only thing that we have is that Daniel Craig's a few and far between. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You know, so women really have to settle, and that's where that's where I'm at.
Also,
Come settle.
is he not traditionally handsome in the face, Daniel Craig? Right? He's like got a rough and tumble kind of look to him. Or am I
Yeah, women like that though. Kind of like Hugh Jackman, where it's like it just looks like he got in a fight last night,
right.
kind of face, and that's what they dig, man.
Like a Sarah.
Yeah, but what women don't realize is that to get that ripped, the dude's working out twice a day, 3-hour sessions. He doesn't have time to bang you. He's got crunches to do tomorrow.
We asked my buddy Brian Johnson and he's on Comic Book Man, and he asked a trainer once, what would it take for him to get a body like Brad Pitt? And the trainer said, you wouldn't be able to drink water but once a day, because that comes from a dehydration. Like your shit just gets tight. He's like, you wouldn't be able to do it. It's extremely unhealthy to get what Brad Pitt had at Fight Club. Now, he might have been just saying that to make us feel better about themselves, but that's exactly what he told us.
Well, that's what those bodybuilders do, right? When they go on stage, don't they dehydrate themselves?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, hell yeah, right. A couple hours before. It's just I hate seeing guys that healthy. I don't like hanging out with people that healthy, because when you go out at the end of the night, I want fucking 8 hot dogs, and the guy next to you, I'm just gonna have a fucking mint.
Right.
And I feel fatter when I'm out with fucking healthy people.
But isn't like Owen and Ahmed, like they're both pretty fucking in shape these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Owen takes it to a new level. Like he's always working out. Like when we go on the road, he's just always jogging or running or, it's.
Like literally, I try to find the snack machine. Owen's looking for the fitness center.
Right. Is that
That's
annoying?
no. That's just how we work. We got chemistry. Everybody's got a role, Quinn. Find that snack machine.
So you think when you were a kid is when what's the most confident you felt in adult life?
The most confident?
You feel good now? You feel good now?
I feel like I think just before I met my wife, that's when everything kind of came together. Because like, being a comic in New York, I was always, I never had fear going up to girls. I'd see a girl on the sidewalk. As a comic, you're dealing with failure every night of your life.
Right,
you're trying
right,
stuff
right.
out.
can't do that.
I didn't care. I was like, hey, I'm doing a show tonight. I was walking past you. I'll never see you again, but I'd love to invite you to a show. Maybe we can get a drink tonight. And, sometimes it worked. So I was doing all right. But I think when it all comes together, where your personality, your confidence, and all that, I think like in my 30s, that's when everything started to kind of really click.
Sure. I mean, you're the lead on a television show.
Yeah, I got married just before all that, so I resent every second of it.
Oh, damn it. Oh, wait, you know what I'm going to bring them into?
Huh.
This fucking pet debate that you won't fucking...
Oh, this dipshit.
No, hold on. Let's ask them first.
Okay.
Did you have pets, boys? Either of you?
I've had
Do I have now?
No, let's childhood pets.
Yes, I have. Yes.
Okay, what kind of pet?
I've had dogs. I've had dogs.
Okay, and what were your dogs' names?
Well, okay. The ones that I had a Rottweiler named Brandy. I had a
Named Randy.
Brandy.
Okay.
But I didn't name that. My parents and my mom did, and then we got a little toy fox terrier, and we named it Remy, as in Remy Martin, which is the type of brandy. No one drinks in the house, but
Right.
it was just like
The rappers quit rapping about it. So it's like,
and then we had a Baron. We had a Doberman Pinscher when I was little named Baron.
I've heard Baron
That's a
before
cool
for
name.
dogs.
Yeah.
How about you?
I had rabbits until I got older and had my own place.
Yeah. And what were their names?
Rusty and Napoleon and 9X were the rabbits that I had for most of my life.
9X.
Great. These are all great.
So
I had a cat
two
named
guinea-
Tips because he had white tips on his thing.
cool.
So these are names. Good.
I had a pet guinea pig as a child, and I named him Joel.
Dude, it's the weirdest. It's the name of a person.
Yeah, we
You
talked about
can't-
this last
you-
podcast.
My cat is named Benjamin. Like I'm in the name.
But you're an adult. I was like in the 4th grade. I named him Joel. I had a goldfish named Henry.
right.
And I just think it's
odd.
the weirdest thing. How is that odd, though?
It is odd.
And then
It is odd for a child.
the second guinea pig was
Crystal.
Crystal. What in God's name?
You named it Crystal?
Yeah, I named it myself. I don't know where I got it from. I
That
don't,
is a
don't ask
really
me.
a specific feminine
That's
name.
such a weird name for a guinea
What
pig,
is that,
dude.
Mr. Gibbles? What was I supposed to know?
Yeah,
How old are you?
he's going to name his first
Like
kid
4th
Spot.
You were in 4th grade, and you
4th grade.
held up a rodent that was like, "This is a crystal for sure." we were talking about the last podcast we had. It came up, and it's like vice versa too. It's like why don't we just? I made an argument for you saying like, why is it like why do pets have to? Why do they adopt like these names that aren't human names?
Right.
But and the reverse would never happen. We were talking about like you'd never like meet someone and they'd be like, "This is my kid's pickles and fog hat." You know, like this is my son
Mr.
Pickles. Like you it just doesn't go.
That's Mr. Pickles. How are you, Mr. Pickles? I loved animals, man. I just never got into it now because I travel. I was more of a rodent guy. Never big on dogs and cats. Too much responsibility. Plus, dogs get like adult diseases and. I knew I was out on dog ownership when I saw that they have like the bad breath fucking doggy snacks or whatever to fix doggy breath.
Right.
And I'm like,
Like the
it's
tartar.
too much maintenance.
yeah, it's too much fucking.
Yeah, but what's better than a dog though?
Well, I have cats.
It depends on what kind of dog.
A guinea pig's not giving you the love, affection, attention, obedience, and everything else that a dog is.
I kind of like that.
Crystal ain't doing those things for you.
Crystal did. Crystal was a warm fucking creature.
Crystal didn't know her
You
name.
don't know Crystal. You don't know Crystal.
Crystal didn't know her
Why
name.
you
Yeah.
can't say that.
And guinea pigs, they're like mindless, aren't they? Like you wouldn't call its name and it would come over to you.
No,
They're
it doesn't
just
respond at all.
yeah.
You have to have a snack in your hand, or else it doesn't come. I killed it because Joel.
Just went to a dark place.
Crystal, I didn't kill. I gave her away when I went to college. But the first one, Joel, what happened? So Joel was.
Joel is also just not a. It's not a common male name
it's
either.
weird.
Like a Jewish name too. So
Yeah.
like Joel the Jewish.
So
guinea
like
pig.
guinea pigs are like real sensitive to temperatures under 60 degrees. I left a window cracked in my room during the winter.
Croaked.
Leave for school, come back. It's like 30, 40 degrees in my room. The guinea pig is in the corner shivering and like runny nose, like just last leg. So in a last ditch effort to save it, because my mom wouldn't take it to the vet because she's a fucking black mom and they don't care about animal maintenance. I put NyQuil in the fucking water bottle.
How old are you?
I was like, it's 4th grade.
Yeah, you were trying.
Yeah, so I put NyQuil in straight NyQuil, didn't chase it. No, nothing. I gave it to the guinea pig. He laps up the NyQuil. I come back an hour later, fucking dead.
Oh my
You didn't
God.
get it. I would say
my
you didn't kill him.
God.
You tried. You
I
tried.
just gave him syrup.
I
That's what
like-
the rappers drink.
I just picture the moment of you like on your knees being like, "Take the NyQuil, Joel." Like you know,
Shit was sad. It was like Batman where Bruce Wayne's parents died, and they cut to the wide shot of the alley, and it's just him,
Crime Alley.
yes, with a dead guinea pig in his hand, and the rain
I
falling
just
down.
picture a 4th grade Roy Wood Jr. coming in and picking up Joel and just after a rough day be like, "You're the only one that understands me. I love you, Joel."
Don't tell Crystal. I love you, Joel.
But we were filming an episode 2 weeks ago, and Roy, there was this plot line where Roy kept trying to win those contests, like the Snapple caps where you pick it over and it says you're a winner or whatever.
Sure.
So when we were filming, I had the prop guy turn it over. So when Roy said that he won, he twisted it off, and the bottle cap said "R.I.P. Joel."
Oh, no way!
300,
No way!
300 people in the audience. We're recording a television show, and this motherfucker wants to play games.
Oh, man!
And I can't break character.
Shit.
And you can see me visibly. You can see it hit.
Oh my
God! I won. I'm a winner. Yay!
Oh my God!
Dude,
Can I bring up
horrible.
double T or no?
Dude, do what you want, man. Oh,
Okay.
Tampa Tony.
So he, when we're traveling or whatever,
We
can
have
you
to
tell
give the backstory. Yeah,
of Tampa
backstory.
Tony? First
All
off,
right.
just Tampa Tony makes me fucking laugh. Okay,
So-
so he's telling me the story about Tampa Tony.
In college, I fucked this chick whose street name was Tampa Tony.
It's a girl.
Oh, we got the title for the episode.
She's
Tampa Tony.
She's got less of a human name than Crystal and Joel.
So
She's sick. You're giving Tampa Tony NyQuil.
So the legend of Tampa Tony is when I fucked her, she was like a 7 or 8. Like she was probably maybe 20 pounds overweight, right? So little chubby, but not enough to where if someone said, "I heard you fuck Tampa Tony," that you wouldn't deny it. You'd be like, "Yeah, it was Tuesday."
It's not an
Fuck
indictment
it,
of
whatever."
you. It's,
Yeah, it wasn't
sure.
a bad thing. But this was also 1998 when I fucked Tampa Tony.
Tampa Tony.
Can't say enough. Can't say enough.
I love it.
Here's the thing. She was from Tampa, and her name was Antonita. So everyone just called her Tony, short for Antonita.
Sure.
It's
Tampa
a fucking
Tony.
Tampa Tony. So fast forward to when Sullivan and Son premieres first year, and it's all the, "Hey, I heard Roy's on TV, blah, blah, blah." It gets back to me, some of my friends in Tallahassee, that Tampa Tony is running around, running off at the mouth, telling people she used to fuck. Which is a true statement,
Sure.
but Tampa Tony's also put on 150 pounds. So now you have this, and this is no disrespect to any of our overweight listeners. I'm not attacking anybody that's overweight, but the problem is that if you've gained a lot of weight and then you tell people you fucked a dude, that's wrong. Because you have to also add the addendum that he fucked me 120 pounds ago. So for her, it's like something to brag about. For me, I'm like, shut the fuck up. Quit telling people you're fucking me. So I've spent the last 3 years trying to forget Tampa Tony, disavow her existence, forget that it ever happened. And this asshole.
So we're filming, and the second taping, he twists off the bottle cap. It says Tampa Tony says hi.
Oh my God! Oh, you're just gonna shut down and not tell him anything about his life.
That's what they do on set. It's no different than you guys. You take something and you just drill at it. Like, how real, I have to ask you guys this, how real was that episode where it was the episode where Quinn was in bed with your sister?
Yeah.
It was like some sort of timeshare. You were presenting timeshares.
Oh, yeah, the vacation.
And showing people what a great vacation home, and look at this couple that's had a good time. And Quinn is like in the bed with Sal's sister, they cuddling and kissing, and Sal is having to present this shit. Yeah, see, look at your face right now. You're not
it's
loving it at all.
I had 100% no clue.
Yeah.
And they had already done something with my sister and with Joe's sister where he felt my sister's boob
Right.
as part of a workplace seminar, like a
Sexual harassment.
ethics, sexual harassment video.
Right.
And they cast my sister in it, and then he walked in and he played the boss, and he was like the bad video, not
Right.
like what to do.
And,
what
and
not to.
Sal's father is scary. Nice guy, but he works out a lot, right? Your father is an intimidating gentleman. So I called him up and asked him for permission first. Like, I played
Smart.
it smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I knew that since that already happened, when I turned around and saw her back on the screen, because the first one wasn't them in bed, it was a slow roll.
Yeah.
And it was just them like in front of the house. And I was like, I knew they were going to go further than the last time. And I knew that it had to play out. I knew that I
love
had
it.
no choice, but I didn't the screen was behind me, then we were changing the balance. I didn't want to turn around. Like, I just was going to click it and still took photos because I did not want to see what was there. And it ended up being them kissing and then him naked. And then the last one was him, Murray, and my sister in bed together.
But it's very real because he asked us not to do it again. He doesn't like his sister being on television because, for one, it's just your private life. And that. But all on top of that, people have latched on to the fact that his sister's very attractive.
Yeah.
So we'll be at shows or walking down the street, and people just be like, "Sal, your sister's hot." So he's asked us not to do it, but we haven't stopped. She's coming back this season. In a big way.
She's coming back this season, and they dotted themselves.
Now, what does she do?
My sister works in a doctor's office.
So is that kind of surreal for her to just she's working in a doctor's office and then she gets to be on a really popular television show? It's got to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it was like we were in a vacuum when we're filming.
Yeah.
And I mean, you guys do it in front of an audience, and you do it with like a whole ensemble cast. Even though we have 4 of us, we've always been friends, so it doesn't feel like when we do it, it just feels like it's in a vacuum. I think that's maybe how she felt about it too, because like you guys just came over her house, took some photos, did a blue screen, green screen, or whatever. And I guess, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a thrill for them to see them on television.
Yeah.
But even for us now, we always talk about it. Like, I don't feel like since we create the show and I see it 100 cuts of it before it ever airs.
Right.
I feel like I'm almost just like playing a tape. Like if you came over my house and I was like, check out this DVD I have of myself, and I hit play. Like that's what it feels like when it's on TV. Like I get more of a, like if we were going to guest on your show and hopefully it still works. Sullivan and Son. I would flip out to see myself on your show.
Oh yeah,
because to me that's real TV. Like it's something that exists outside of me,
right?
And I know it, and then I'm on it. Like, or if we do Conan or something like that,
right?
But when we do our own show, it's like I made it from top to bottom. I just feel like they're looking at something I did, not something that's on TV.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What about like? Do you guys? How do you? Feel?
Talk us through, if you don't mind, just walk us through a little bit of how Sullivan and Son happened and how it came to. And because Roy, we got to speak to him a little bit of his history and how he came to it. But we'd like to you to pull in and talk about it.
Co-creator right there, baby.
Yeah, well, at the time, I used to go hiking up Bronson Canyon all the time. Vince Vaughn lived right by there, so we would go and hike all the time. And I think I just finished like my second hour, and I was writing a third hour, and he was just like, you should write something for yourself. And I was like, I don't know. I never written anything before. He's like, you can do it. I was like, I don't know. He goes, you can do it. I go, okay. And that was it. That literally is the conversation. So I was like, well, if he thinks I can do it, I'll go out and try something. So I was on the road. I bought all these books on sitcom writing, and I treated it like I was like, if my friend says I should try this, I'm going to really go all in and give it a whirl. So I read all these books. And then I wrote like a pilot script, and originally it took place in a diner. That was the original pilot, and I turned it into Vince and Peter Billingsley, and they're both like, "Hey, this isn't that bad." I think that Vince was just saying it to try to get me to be motivated to try something else, but I turned it in. And he's like, "Hey, there's something here." We've
met. He's in charge of the festival, right? And we met him for the first time this weekend. An insanely positive guy to anybody who's never going to meet him, and we never thought we'd meet him, but. Unbelievably positive. Like it's hard to. It's almost magnetic in a way where he's just like, you can do it. Like we got caught in the field.
He did that to us. He gave us career advice, and he actually gave me some confidence too. And when he said it, I just believed it. I was like, thanks.
Sure. It's kind of unexpected because it's Vince Vaughn. You know, what I mean? He's been all this stuff. So I can imagine. So for you, he just zeroed in on you in that way. So you did it.
Yeah, and I did it. I wrote it, and so then we met with a bunch of different showrunners, and Rob Long and I just clicked. We got along, and Rob Long, who co-created the show with me, he said you should make this in a bar, not a diner. And I said, if you would come aboard after being an executive producer on Cheers for the last 8 years, I'm like, if you would come on board, I'll definitely whatever you want. Yeah, let's do it. So what I did was I was traveling so much at the time. I would fly to L.A. I wasn't living there. I was living in Chicago. I'd fly to L.A. every 2 weeks. And then the other week, I'd go see Jess, my girlfriend at the time. So I never went home. I was on the road or I was in LA crashing to Pete's, and then Rob and I would meet Mondays and Tuesdays for like 6 or 7 hours. Every other Monday and Tuesday for like maybe like 2 or 3 months. We would just go to the Wild West office and talk about the pilot. And we never really actually started writing it until like the last 2 weeks, which is crazy. We just talked and hashed it all out and what we wanted to do, how we wanted to create it. So basically we finished the script, we wrote it, we went to all the different networks with Vince and Peter, and we said there's a 48-hour window. Who wants it?
Oh, wow.
And so TBS was just like, we love it, we'd like to get behind it. And
what did Nickelodeon say when you went in to pitch the bar show?
Who?
Nickelodeon. Did you take it to Nickelodeon?
Is it Nickelodeon or Nickelodeon?
Nickelodeon.
Wow.
That's the black Nickelodeon.
I love that. I caught on you right away.
I know. It was either you or me that was going to say it. Yeah, because we both looked at each other like, you want to do it? And you like opened the door for me. You're like, please, after you. Thank you. Nickelodeon?
Nickelodeon.
I was polite because I caught it and I was like, he's a guest. Let's just let it go.
I actually started to hope it was a channel I never heard of.
I'm going to go get a guinea pig and name it Nickelodeon. But basically, you know, when I wrote it, I wrote the three other stand-up comedians in it. I wrote Roy, Ahmed, and Owen in it as like types of guys that I would like to see on the show that would be my friends. Because I never even knew Roy. I knew Roy in passing. I think I maybe talked to Roy for a total of 5 minutes before we worked on the show.
Oh, wow.
But I always loved his stand-up. And so I remember calling him and sending an email or whatever, and Roy's like, yeah, okay, you're writing this, yeah, whatever. And then he came in and auditioned, and truth be told, the first audition was not that good, but so Rob Long,
So you told me the story, right?
Rob Long was like, I'm not feeling it, and Pete was on the fence, because I was like, Pete, watch these clips, and Pete was like, he is funny. So we had a second round of auditions, and then I shoehorned Roy back in the audition.
Right.
He came in, did a little better, and Rob was still on the fence, and Pete was kind of on the fence too. And then we had a third audition, and then Roy came in and just nailed it. And then Rob goes, all right, if this is your guy, let's go with your guy. And then when we I think it was like the second episode after we got picked up or whatever, it was second or third, there was a big joke that you had, and then Rob came over to me and he was like, you were right, I was wrong.
Wow,
that's awesome.
It was, yeah. And
Thanks, Rob.
yeah. But, you know, when you're on the other side, it's kind of weird. And that's the weirdest part, is when I lived in L.A., like, you guys have all gone out and auditioned and stuff, and I never got a call back for anything, okay? So I'm sitting there.
For anything.
I auditioned for a bunch of stuff. I hated it.
I hated it, too.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, because I wrote the thing, now I'm casting the show. And so they're like, what do you think about that? I'm like, you're asking me?
Right,
I'm the last person that I know anything about auditioning. And I was sitting there going, who's going to audition me? Because nobody knows if I can fucking do this shit. So it was crazy, yeah. But it's been fun, and we're going to the third season. I can't believe we get to do it. And every day, like, I pull into Warner Brothers, still to this day, every single day I'm there, I'm like, I can't believe I get to do this. This is crazy. It's what you dream of as a comedian.
Right.
It's nuts.
So when you see it on TV...
I feel the same way you do, because being in the writer's room and writing the scripts and seeing the jokes and seeing the cuts and seeing the edits, and by the time it makes it to the air, you kind of lose perspective. You're like, it was funny to me when we were reading, it was funny in rehearsal, it was funny when we taped, it's funny here, and then you kind of like become numb to it almost, and then when it comes out, that's why like this summer when we were going back into it, I sat down, I just binge watched our show, and it made me appreciate the show again, going back into it. Yeah, being removed and not having seen the first two seasons. And I was like, oh, this is really fun. I can't wait to get to do this again.
That's
great.
Yeah.
It's a fun show. Good.
I was going to say, just as far as Owen, Ahmed, those guys, did you know them as well?
Yeah, Ahmed's one of the first guys I met when I moved to Los Angeles. Like, I met Ahmed, Bobby Lee, and Ken Jeong. Those are like the three guys I met right out of the gates in L.A. And then Ahmed's always been so great and such a great friend. And Owen and I met at the Improv because he was always there. And at the time I met him, he was like the hot young comic that moved to L.A. and he had deals and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, fuck that guy. He's playing his piano. All the girls love him. And it's just, but we got along famously right out of the gates. And I love working with the guy.
And did those guys come in as part of a call amongst other people, or were you like, well, I want Owen to try this out, or you know what I mean, like when they auditioned or
they auditioned other guys, I think, for Med's the only one that didn't have to audition. He just got it. But Owen actually had to read and put himself on tape, but he had actually done things, so that was a little easier. Right. But Roy got put through the ringer. And I know sometimes, like when you hear those stories about people getting cast in shows, they're like when they walked in, you just knew.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that sentiment. Like Valerie Aslan, when she came in, as soon as she left the room, we're like, that's her.
Right.
Vivian Bang, who plays my sister, I was against Vivian Bang, and I've told her this. And she came in and always nailed it. It was so funny, but I was like, she doesn't look like my sister.
Right.
I want somebody that's half Asian, and there's only like 6 actresses that kind of look like me. So Bang kept coming in, and Bang kept nailing
She's
it.
Great.
And she did the final audition, and I was like, "Yeah, we got to go with her. How can you not?" And I do know, being Korean and Irish, other couples where I meet their brothers and sisters, and some take on the traits of the mother, some take on the traits of the father. So I was like, yeah, it's doable, and screw it. If it's funny, nobody's going to care anyway. So let's just.
Where did Dan Lauria come in?
Yeah,
Dan, Vince had just seen Lombardi on Broadway, and so when we were casting it, Vince goes, "You got to see Dan Lauria," and we did. And prior to Dan coming in, Brian Doyle Murray came in. We met with Brian, and we offered him either role. We said you could be Hank or the dad. And Brian said, I think Hank might be more my speed. I don't want to
curmudgeon than the father.
And so we go, hey, if you want to do Hank, it's yours. He goes, great, okay, I'm in. It was kind of that quick and easy. And then Dan came in, and he didn't read anything. We just talked for like 30 minutes, and as soon as he left, I was like, that's my dad.
Yeah, that's great.
Because he felt like my dad. He's just such a good dude, and it was awesome.
I wrote. This is 10 years ago? I wrote a film script, maybe 13 years ago, and I wrote a part for him. And
he would have done it, by the way.
I went to see a play that he was doing in Jersey, and I saw him afterwards. I waited outside, and I was a kid, and I was like, hey, man, just do me a favor, like, I wrote this for you. I'd love you to just read it, never thinking. He took my number, read the script, did notes on it, called me back, stayed on the phone with me for an hour to give me notes on the script.
That's him.
And I was just a kid from Staten. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nobody. And he was just
that's insane.
That is fucking insane.
Just waited outside, handed him that, and he went back and followed.
Read it and gave me thorough notes. And he goes, the first thing, he goes, I like it. The first thing I'm going to tell you is they're going to tell you never to cast me. He goes, although I need the money. He goes, I just sank all my money into a theater so I could use it. He goes, but I love it. I really look up to that guy as like, couldn't be nicer, man.
Yeah.
That's why when I saw he was before we even met you, I'd seen your show, and I was just like so excited that he was on the show. I was like, "Fuck, it's Dan Lauria!"
Yeah.
So he drew in a viewer for you right off the bat. It was
nice.
Great.
I can't do that, man. Like, I don't speak to my heroes. Like, I get scared that they're just going to be assholes.
It's a real fear.
Yeah, I mean,
Has it happened to you?
Samuel L. Jackson was kind of a push, and that was enough to kind of leave me in a bad place. Like, I met him, and he wasn't a dick, but he clearly was just not interested in having a conversation. And like like when you see someone that you're really inspired by, you kind of have a little bit of a speech in your head of what you're going to say.
Of course.
And I extend my hand to start the speech, and he just grabs my hand real quick, shakes it, keep God first, onward and upward, and just kept walking.
Right.
Never broke stride, never made eye contact. Just
maybe he had to piss.
It's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been a number of things, and I'm not going to rag on them, but now I'm at the point now where if I see anyone else, I just nod from across the room. Like, I wouldn't dare put a script. Like, that's fucking amazing, man.
I wouldn't do it now. I mean, we were nervous to meet fucking Vince Vaughn. We were just like, I don't want, you don't want him to be a dick or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a huge influence on me, him and Favreau. And, even Billingsley, like big time, like not just saying, not just like how to everyone else, like extra special. I was telling you a little bit about it, and the other day, and I kind of want to let him know that, but I know he hears it all the time, so I kind of just didn't get into it. I told him you're a huge influence on me. It's amazing that I'm here.
Yeah,
as part of this festival and stuff like that, and like a lot of stuff that you've done inspired me to do other stuff. I kind of left it at that. I hope sincere, maybe it takes away, but he's got to hear that kind of stuff. So it's just like, I don't want to bother him with that.
Well, where does it go? Because you hear it from people now.
Yeah.
We went to the zoo today.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And like people are coming.
I'm happy to. It's so nice. I love it. I don't think he's going to begrudge me that, but he's.
Let me just say something.
He's not you. So
he's 20 years going, and also, I don't know.
You guys are so cordial with people, though. You guys are totally warm. Like, I've had 4 or 5 days now to watch how you guys just operate.
Everywhere we go,
it just
public. Everywhere, like literally everywhere we go, people are
bathroom
constantly.
Stall,
can we get pictures? Can we get
dick
pictures?
Is out.
I've never taken so many pictures for. I'll take it. I don't. Yeah. Just nonstop. It's great, but you guys are really, really respectful and kind. I think there's like a part where I think you know how difficult it is to get to where you are, and it almost like you guys are just so kind to everybody that comes up to you. It's really nice to see.
We try to be.
I mean, he's supposed to be that way. I don't think that anyone deserves it. I mean, to anyone's credit who's kind, it's because it's tough because you can catch someone. You could be the sweetest person to 99 people, and then the 100 person. Not that you're even mean to them, but maybe something's like happens where you can't extend that kind of thing. Maybe you're short on time, or maybe we're in the middle of something. And then that person walks away, and that's the experience they had with you. You know what I mean? If someone witnesses that experience, that's the experience that they witnessed of you.
Like Joe did something I saw today when we went to the zoo, and we're all on this, very specific tour where we have to stay in a group, and Joe is kind of lagging behind because he's taking pictures, and there's like a group of 12. And like 8 cameras come out to take a picture with him. And Joe's like, nah, listen, you all know. He cracked a joke that was so crafty that basically said, one person take the picture, send it to the rest of them, and everyone will get it. And the people were smiling. They were laughing as he walked away. And he goes, we have a tour. I have to keep up. I'm stupid. There's just a way in how you interact with people that even if being polite is putting you in a jam, how you even get out of the jam is still classy the way you guys do it. And it still leaves people appreciating and feeling like they had a good experience with you, not just, I got to go. Fuck y'all.
Well, go ahead.
Well, I did it once to someone where we, in the early days of the show, we had a very tumultuous relationship with the network. It's not like that now. And we were in an airport doing one of our shows, and we had just gotten a fucking bomb of bad news. I don't even remember what the bad news was, but it was just day in, day out, we would get shit from the network. And
was it that Joel had passed away?
Yeah, Joel went. The night didn't work. It was very sad. And and I get worked up. It's in me to get very angry.
Yeah.
And I was fucking talking to Gatto and Murray. I don't think you were there. And I was like, this fucking motherfuckers, blah, 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 blah. And it was clear to anybody with an eyeball that I was fucking pissed. Yeah. And this woman came up and I was fucking hitting my fist and I was going, motherfuckers, blah, blah, blah. And she stood there for 2 seconds listening to me curse. I was like, I'll fly to New York right now and fucking do this. And she's like, can I get a picture? And I just looked and I was like, I don't think now is a good time for you to want to ask a picture of me. You hear me over here fucking arguing with my friends. And she went away and I was like, I felt like she walked away dejected and I was like, I'm an asshole. Yeah. And her experience of me now is that I'm an asshole.
Forever.
So I chased her down. No, I chased her down and I was like,
oh, that's nice.
I said, I'm sorry. I said,
fucking
just call me
nice.
a bad moment. But that one moment of watching her walk away with that experience, I was like, I can't do that.
It's not in you.
It's horrible. It's a horrible feeling.
Well, to you guys' credit, just to throw it back to you, we've been on your set, and a couple things. The crew of your set told us that, because I guess there's a lot of sitcoms on the lot and over the years, and a lot of people have been on other sets and everything like that, and they said that your show was the only show, and they were veterans. Yeah. And this was more than one person that said this. Your show was the only show where it was like a family thing where everyone's allowed to talk to everyone. Everyone has a relationship with everyone and a rapport with everyone. Yeah. Because a lot of times, I guess this is commonplace, but people put down this mandate that talent is talent and don't interfere and don't talk to them unless they talk to you and stuff like that.
Steve don't play that shit. That's all Steve.
And we see you. I mean, this tour's going through. The tour's going through. He jumps on. He jumps on a thing, gives a tour himself, grabs everybody, brings them in. He's giving the tour inside all of a sudden.
And the tour guide said to us, you're the only one. Even beyond that, he goes, you're the only one on the tour that will welcome people in and give them a self-guided tour of the set. And we're like,
and you're giving us a tour. You're shuttling us around, and you're yelling to every tour bus you see, I'll be back there in 30, half hour, 15 minutes. Go there. I'll meet you guys. And literally letting them know. And then telling Roy and Ahmed and everybody, hey, go back. We got a group there. Go meet the group. Well, no, I thought that was like, I was like, it's just like, who's better than you? It's just like the nicest thing.
No, look, I'm on the set all the time, but it is a trickle-down effect. It starts at the top. And being friends with Vince Vaughn and Peter Billingsley for all the years that I have, I learned so much in just being their friend and how they work, how they react, how they lead, whatever. And it really does start from Vince down. And he brings just such a he cares. Right. That every day he doesn't just get a check from the show. He's there at the tapings. And he's there writing lines, and he could be doing 100 other things. The guy's a movie star. But because he cares so much and he's so down to earth and, keeping things up, he's a great leader. I think that just trickles down to myself. It trickles down to Roy, Owen, Ahmed, the guys on craft services. It's just a great environment because really I think it's because those two. And, I wouldn't be here at this festival. I wouldn't be on Warner Brothers. I wouldn't have known you guys if it wasn't for Vince and Pete and them being so supportive. But Vince saying you can write this thing, you can do it. He's like a charismatic, awesome Tony Robbins. He's just like,
likewise, we are on this tour because of you recommending us. So thank you very much for that. No. Awesome. How did you meet Vince and Pete?
Well, they did that Wild West Comedy Festival, Wild West Comedy show that was a documentary that is on Netflix, I believe it is. So they had 4 guys and they were traveling the country, and it's a really fun documentary on stand-up. They were doing a show in Vegas. One of the guys, John Caparillo, I guess, was sick or something. So Ahmed's like, I know a guy, he can come in. And I went in, and look, I just moved to LA. I didn't know anybody really, and now I'm doing a show. I think it was like New Year's Eve. Yeah, it was New Year's Eve with Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston's in the front row. They were dating at the time, and look, we're all the same age around there. Mm-hmm. I remember putting in the VHS tape of Swingers every Thursday and Friday with my boys from college, and we watch it, and then we go out and drink and try to meet girls and stuff. And that would get us in the zone. And we're like, all right, let's
it's crazy. It's like an inspiration tape, like an inspirational tape to go out.
And then now I'm like performing, and I'm like, oh, I gotta have a great set. Please let me have a good set. And at the time, I was doing this Beecher's Madhouse show. And Comedy Madhouse, and it was always at the Joint in the Hard Rock Hotel, so it was like 2,500 people. So I knew I had all these little tricks of how to get the audience on my side and stuff.
Yeah, big crowd comedy is different.
Yeah, so I was the first one up, and I opened, and I got off stage, and I think I got like a half standing ovation from the audience, and I remember like looking down and like Jennifer Aniston's there, and she was laughing. I'm like, this is surreal. And I walked back, and Vince was like, hey, great job. I was like, thank you. That's it. That's all I need. That's good. I'm done.
My own.
And I didn't talk to him the rest of the night. I was just so happy to be there. And then I got a call maybe like a week later, like, hey, do you want to get some lunch? And so Ahmed, Vince, and I went out and took a hike or whatever. And then ever since then, we've been like best pals. Wow. It's weird.
Isn't that great to just get that approval? It's just like, all right, the pressure's off of me.
Yeah. So it was surreal. And it was like, I don't know, like there's times where you forget who he is because he's so damn funny and so quick, and you'll be hanging out playing PlayStation. Then all of a sudden you go out and then when the camera phones come out and you forget, you're like, oh yeah, the dude's a movie star. Right. But he's just such a normal, nice dude.
All right.
That's nothing like the time I met Tommy Davidson. It wasn't bad. It's just I just thought he was going to take me back to LA with me. Like literally, that's what I thought. Like I opened for him for like a week in Charlotte, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go up here and rip this shit." Right. Tommy Davidson gonna come backstage and take me. It was a 4-day gig. I packed clothes for 2 weeks. It's a true story.
Roy, that's crazy talk.
I literally said
that's what somebody does if they're going to murder Tommy Davidson.
I was like, man, I'm gonna go to Charlotte. I'm gonna rip this shit, and Tommy Davidson gonna see me and be like, yo, come to LA with me right now. Meet some people, an agent, manager. Tommy Davidson came backstage. I didn't see any of it, brother. But they said you did good. And walked out the green room.
Single tear.
Yeah, a single tear comes down. I'm like, fuck me. Good stuff.
You know, see what that story did? No one knew how to. There was literally 2 seconds of silence. No one knew how to process that.
It really humanized us.
I was just bringing it
So
down.
that was a
That's
sad
all.
story.
I'm sorry to follow you like that. I can't.
You
follow
ruined the podcast.
I know.
It's over.
Delete it.
Outside of being cast on the shows, what would you say was like one of your defining moments where you felt like it maybe like there was a jump in your career or just something that helped boost it or anything like that? You guys were talking
Letterman.
today about like certain things that we were talking about, making appearances in certain shows like Bob and Tom and stuff like that.
Bob and Tom did tons for my career as a road comic and connecting with the people that eventually will support your career for decades to come.
Right.
That's where they matter. But then you still need the TV credits. I did Letterman, I think in 06, and that was kind of like a stamp of approval. And it was important for me because as a black comic, you got to shake that BET stereotype to make sure people know that you're not going to go on stage and, you ever be motherfucking fucking that stool? Y'all got to eat that pussy? I'll show you how to fuck that stool. Like, once you put...
Can I ask you, did you ever hump a stool on stage as a black comedian?
No, but I used the mic stand as a dick once.
There we go.
Wow.
Everybody is... At some point in
Did
your
that on
early...
Lyman 2 days ago. Betty White.
I'd say those two things. That was like when I really... Coming off stage at Letterman, I was like, all right, maybe I can do this. I was like 9 years in, and I finally was like, okay, maybe there is a career for me in this. Because up until that point, I'd been treading water, and it's not like I started making thousands of dollars. That's what people forget is that late night credits, it's not 1987 anymore. You're not getting handled a sitcom when you come off stage. You get airfare now when you go to Peoria
Right.
instead of just gas money. I mean, it gets you out of performing for Dope Boys and Weird Rooms and shit like that. So,
Is it like when you guys do like on like late night stuff? I don't know when the last time you've done like a set on late night.
Yeah.
Do you feel the nerves, or is it just like you're able to contain it to just that room, the 250 people in front of you?
I think it's the nerves because it's different than you're confined. Basically, it's like you got to neuter certain jokes because you have to say this word instead of that word. You can't say brand names. You don't have the liberty of being in a club and just freewheeling and saying whatever you want. And then knowing that there's cameras pointing at you and this is going to be broadcast, there's the pressure of like, I got to deliver here. Whereas opposed to if you're in a comedy club, it's like, I'll be back tomorrow. And I'll still eat the mozzarella sticks.
You stumble over one joke and it ruins the next 45 seconds of material, and you don't have enough time to recover, and you can't do a different joke. And like, it's scary. But Chris Rock said if you're not scared, then you should quit. Like, there should be definite times in your career every year where you're legitimately intimidated, and you still go out and do the job. You trust your preparation, but it doesn't change the mindset.
Yeah.
Because like, I'll go over my set up until Conan calls my name, or like I'm literally backstage with it verbatim down to the comma. Like, you have to know the set, because if you skip a word or miss something, it throws off the time. And if you add a word, they give you 4 minutes 30 seconds hard. You go 4:35, they play music over your last joke.
Right.
They'll literally wait for the next laugh and give it up.
Is it that strict? Because you can't account for applause breaks and laugh breaks.
Not their problem. That's your problem.
So do you guys go in and they giving you 5? Do you do like 420? Just do you like when you are you using like timing from the stage? Like when you record your set on stage and you break it down, you have to include all that in.
Well, I'm hilarious, so I go on stage with 2 minutes worth of material, and I know it's just going to work out to read it. Nah, I usually write.
How do you do it? Because that would be more. I'd be more terrified of not hitting the timing than messing up a joke.
I write 4 minutes and pray that I get laughs and that it'll stretch to 4:30.
Yeah.
You could come in under, and that's okay.
Yeah, they'd rather you not.
Okay,
they get pissy about that too.
This I love, and we had Dom Herrera on like 3 weeks ago.
He's the best.
He's unbelievable, and it's so fat because we're not stand-ups,
right?
We're not at all, but we're so in love with. I mean, that's why when you guys when it came out that you guys liked the show, our show, we were like blown away. We were like, because me personally, I don't know if you felt this way, Sal, but I was just like, it's more likely that these guys would fucking hate us than like us because.
Do you mean our TV show or the live show?
Our TV show, and more the live show. Because the TV show is a TV show.
Yeah, it was an honor to have you guys there. Like, you were talking about how you sat there with Vince and stuff. Like, for us the other day with you guys, I mean, you're our friends and stuff, but you guys who are successful in this business, who we respect and everything, coming to see what we've put together, and even Vince and Peter being there.
Yeah.
It was just like, holy fuck. Like, we had that moment backstage before we came out. You know, it is the Ryman, and it is all, you know, it's a special festival, but like...
But then when you come out and you see the place go nuts like that, you're thinking, you got to be thinking, all right, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
we're off to the races.
I mean, our
here.
fans are unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, so they feel just like anything else. Like, we got the same exact set, and if the crowd sucks, they suck. But our fans are like, they're really, really behind us, and it just kind of gives you that, like, you just want to get out there. We knew they were going to be on our side, but still, like, you know, you guys being there was like, you know, we come out on different ends of the stage, and we always have a moment.
You guys ran out and Q jumped into the crowd, and it's like running through the crowd, high-fiving before. I'm like, that's the opener. Like, he's high-fiving the crowd.
Yeah, because they just...
Jumps off the stage.
I don't always do it, trust me.
We do it when we could tell the audience is really good from the get-go. It's like, it's tenfold for us. But we had that moment. Me and Joe looked at each other, and we're just like...
Unbelievable.
We can't believe what's about. Like, this is amazing.
But that wasn't even what I was talking about. I was talking about specifically when we met you guys in... Where were we? Phoenix.
Chicago.
No.
Originally met at the festival?
That night we all went out to Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
Phoenix is when we really hung out. Yeah, you weren't there for Chicago. Chicago for the burrito? Yeah, that's right. That happened.
Because we had got along in Chicago, but that could be a one-off. And then I was just like, we're doing comedy clubs, and you guys were doing the comedy club across town. I'm like, we're not comedians. I was like, I wonder if, like, because you guys have been perfecting this craft for so long.
Yeah.
I even talked to Don Marrero when he's like, you famously got up every day of your fucking like existence to do it. And we were playing across town from you in a comedy club, and you were playing, and I was just like, I feel like a fraud a little bit because we're not.
Well, it's this whole thing that, like, we are amongst you guys and in the places you guys are performing at and touring, and we arrived here, but from a different path.
Right. And there's four of us on stage at one time.
And I had that feeling too, but what I came to terms with was, look, we do what we do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe, like, you know, I wanted, like, I'm going to be trying to do some solo stuff, but like,
wait, what?
You know, I've been working on that, but like, we got here doing what we do. And so we don't do that, but we're here. But it's like, you know, we don't know if sometimes maybe like, because everyone's been awesome, you know what I mean? I'm a comedy nerd, you know what I mean? So like, but like we wonder, like, maybe will somebody resent us for being in this space?
No.
They think we're here overnight. We've been doing it for 15 years.
Oh, yeah. Well, as comedians, you know that anybody that's in a club has earned the right to get there, unless you're like Dustin Diamond or something that's doing it for just like. But as comics, like Owen's the one that told me about the Tenderloin videos, and he's like, you know, I knew him from MySpace. I was like, I know him from the show. So then he showed me some sketches and stuff, but I don't think that there's any.
I've never heard any comedian shit back, you guys. I've never heard that. You know, there is a rift between some comics, and it's more so with the YouTubers, and the comedy clubs are kind of in a bind because, you know, the YouTubers, what they do isn't necessarily always comedy, not all of them, but they have these rabid followers. There's a girl, I can't think of her name, but what she does appeals to like teenage girls under like 14 years old. And there's a couple of comedy clubs that'll book her for like a 6 p.m. show on a Saturday. She'll sell 350 seats, parents and daughters. And it's not traditional stand-up, but she's using the comedy club as a venue, and she's making money, but it's not comedy. So some people take beef with it, but then the club needs an act that's going to put asses in seats to stay open to support acts who aren't quite at the point where they can sell 350 tickets. But I think what you guys do, it's like what Richard Pryor said. Do you talk? Yes. Do the people laugh? Yes. Do you get paid? Yes. That's it.
I love the show. I didn't know what to expect from the live show, too, because seeing what you guys do on the air, it's so fucking funny. It's really fun.
It's paralyzing. I pause it while I'm watching it.
It's perfect TV, especially, you know, you have a long day, you just want to kick your heels up, you want to be entertained, you want to laugh, and it's fun. It's almost like watching. I think everybody can watch it because everybody's like, this is what we do with our friends, but not to that extent. So it's very relatable. But when I went to the live show, I was like, I wonder what they're going to do. I have no idea what they're going to do. And then to see the chemistry is still there live, that what you see on TV. It's not fake. It's not replicated. It's genuine. And that's what I appreciated the most in seeing it, is the camaraderie of the four guys. And the fact that you have four different voices and you're telling a story, whatever, everybody's tagging that story with funny jokes or a funny ad lib or whatever. It was, I don't know, I just really enjoyed the first half hour, especially where you guys, you're literally just telling stories,
right?
But everybody's telling the story together. It was really fun to watch. And then when the videos and the clips and the history of the show and all that stuff, I don't know, as a fan, it was cool to see. Wow. Because you guys were explaining, my favorite part of the show was when you guys said, you were telling the story about performing in front of four people. Right. And I think as a comic, I remember those days, how hard it is to get started. So as a comic, even when I hear that story, I'm like, I'm so happy for them that they get to perform in front of this venue and 3,000 people because you paid your dues.
Right.
So, I by the way, going back to what you were saying earlier, I've never heard a comedian or anybody slag you. Most comics I know love your show.
Right.
And when you go out on tour, I think, if anything, comics would be jealous that you guys
respect
have the
pedigree.
You do. Yeah.
I think what comics really get upset about are comedic actors who've never had a history of stand-up, but because they were on a show that was funny, or they had a funny character, then they step out and decide to start doing stand-up, where stand-up is seen as some sort of career crutch to fuck around with until something better comes along. And then those are the guys that are lazy at it, but they fucking sell tickets, and it's fucking infuriating. I don't know if does Justin Diamond still... Does he still do stand-up? He's still going out there?
Yeah. As of last year, he was. I know that.
There's, but then there's some that go about it the right way. It's probably an obscure name, but funny guy, Reginald Ballad, who played Brudman from the Fifth Floor on Martin. He started doing comedy after Martin got canceled, but he started at the bottom. He started as an MC. He guest set it. He hosted shows and worked his way up the ladder. And that's not something you see often with comedic actors. And I think there's more disdain for that in the comedy community than it is what you do, because it's not traditional prepared monologue per se, but you're performing. So, I mean, I wouldn't slight yourself in the least. You're loved by everybody.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I don't like compliments, so why don't we move on? Thank you very much. I did, it was something I wanted to ask you about Solomon and Son, because it's it's almost sneaky, and it's a really traditional sitcom.
Yes.
Which I love, because I you know what I mean? It's really, because you look like Always Sunny. Do you guys like Always Sunny?
I love Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah. We're huge fans of that show. Yeah. But it seems like
it was. We were talking about. You said, and I agree with you. It's in the best possible way. It was instantly familiar.
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Right?
Yeah.
It was like, oh, this is like classic. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you don't really see it that much anymore. Really, I don't think. I mean, I don't watch a lot of network television, but like when I started watching the show, and again, this is before I met you guys, I was like, that was one of the things I loved about it. I was like, it's that. Like, was there ever a choice to take in another direction, or was it always that?
No, when I was doing, I was like multicam, because I grew up on multicams. I enjoy multicams. I think there's something really fun and engaging about hearing an audience. I remember watching those Scooby-Doo cartoons, and they had a laugh track on the Scooby-Doo. I was like, for some reason, I just enjoyed Scooby-Doo that much more, because I'm like, oh, they're laughing at the jokes. There's people that, we're all watching this together. So, I don't know, I always enjoyed it, and especially having the other comedians on the show. There's like a fifth gear that gets put into play when you're performing in front of them. And the difference, I think, between a single cam and a multicam, I believe that multicam doesn't get the respect that it should, because I believe it is harder to do a multicam than a single cam. In terms of this, not the workload, because it takes forever to film some single cams, but you have to get the laugh. Yeah. With a single cam, you don't know. It's like, I think we got it. Right. I mean, it could be funny. We get instant
feedback. There's no laugh track on Sullivan. That's crowd reaction.
Yeah.
And the laugh you hear.
We go until we get a laugh. If the joke bombs, it's like, we're going to sit here and fix it and get a laugh out of this. We're going to make that work.
You throw in another punch, another tagline.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the writers will get together. Vince has thrown in a lot of fourth quarter Hail Marys for us. So a lot of the big ones,
and nails them.
Yeah,
nails them.
Did you guys set out to cast for, like, were you looking at actors, or was it always stand-ups that you wanted to plug into those roles that Owen, Roy, and Ahmed have? Like, because it just happened to be for stand-ups. It's not really that common to have, Yeah,
I thought if you're going to have a group of friends, and I'm a comedian, why not have some professional comedians?
You were out to look for comics for those roles.
Yeah.
Oh, specifically.
Yeah.
And so how's it been working? Because you have the mix of comics, and then you have veteran, decorated stage and film actors on the show. And it's like, it's insane. And you guys come from a world where you have perfected that, and they come from another. What's it like mixing those two things? Like, do they learn from you and you learn from them? And
we're learning from them every day.
Obviously, I figure the craft of that. But what are they taking away from it, or how much are you absorbing? And then do you feel like every single episode is an improvement that you're able to work with them and you improve?
I think that we learn a lot from. Well, I learn a lot from Dan Lauria and Christine Ebersol. But I think if there's one thing that they've not so much blatantly, but just if you listen closely to how they word their statements. I think they're very impressed with the professionalism from all of us, the comedians, in terms of preparation. Because comics, where acting is concerned, generally viewed, we probably have the worst reputation in town in terms of, you're going to have an actor. Do you want a rapper? Do you want a model? Or do you want a comedian? Like, some comedians are fuck ups. They just are. So I don't know what experiences they've had in the past with other comedians on set, but whatever we did debunked that myth of perception. And, like, there are always, especially with, as much heart as Steve puts into the show. I mean, he didn't have to do fucking tours. Like, he could go home like everybody else, but you stay another hour and shake hands and take pictures. And then, I mean, the comedy tour we go on every summer in support of the show, I think that instantly put us in a different, where, like, no, we really care about this. We really care about
they know
what
we care. So I think that look, they're veterans. They've done so many shows, and I think that when they see a renewed enthusiasm from four guys that don't have to pack their suitcase this week, and they don't have to go to whatever Chuckle Hut, and you get to actually work on a set with people on a TV show, and we appreciate that. I think they see that, and then they feel like,
them.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, hey, these guys are pretty cool. They actually appreciate being here. They're not phoning it in. They all earned their way onto the stage somehow by being those salmon that swim upriver through all those comedy clubs, and they're here, and we all appreciate it. And I think that they see it. And then it's reciprocal, and it's just a great environment on that set. And we're learning from them all the time. But we tour and all the stuff, and they'll constantly thank us. They're like, "Thanks for all the work you do in the show." And it's just like, "Thank you for being here." Are you kidding me? You guys are ringers. They're amazing.
Did you always know that the tour? Did it click with you afterward that, oh shit, 4 comics, we could do a stand-up tour on this? Was that always part of the plan?
It was never part of the plan, because you don't know if it's going to get picked up. You don't know what you guys know. You're always just like, I hope the ratings come through this week. I hope we get renewed. And so when we were going into season 1, I said, let's go out and tour. And these guys are all game, and it's been awesome.
The network was behind that right away, huh?
They got it. So cool. TBS has been nothing but just awesome for us.
Great. It's great.
You talked before about who's going to audition you. And we talked about this offline before, but how was it for you? Did any of you guys take acting classes or anything like that? Or did you just go in and kind of just be yourself? Or
Vince, I said I was going to take a class, and then Vince told me, he goes, just be yourself and just be honest. And I was like, that's it? And that's all he said. And I was like, all right, I'm going to do that. Because if it worked for you, I'm not going to knock a guy who's been an A-list movie star for 15, 20 years. Right. It's like, all right, I'll take that advice. So I really took it to heart, and I was like, I'm just going to say this as though I was in that situation.
Well, I wish you'd have told me that shit before I spent 3 years. 3 years of acting classes, 4 days a week, didn't book shit. Really? I came close where, like, the second or third audition where you go in front of producers. I went to producers on a couple of, like, Comedy Central pilots, and I was close on what's the ABC show where they jump on shit and fall in the mud and all that?
Wipeout?
Wipeout. Yeah, I had an audition for Wipeout where I was supposed to be the funny side commentator, crack jokes about the people. And the first 2 auditions went really well, and I went back in the room, and I don't know. On the way out the room, you kind of know when you've done well on an audition because they start asking you your schedule for the next week. And they go, well, what's your availability next week? And are you free next Tuesday? Okay, well, we'll see. And on the way out the door, I decided to crack one more fucking joke. And this guy had on a Boston Celtics shirt. And I go, oh, Celtics doesn't look like they're doing too well this year. And the guy just looks up like slow motion, looks up. He goes, where you from? I go, I'm from Alabama, sir. How's Alabama's team doing? We don't have a team. Exactly.
Oh.
And just instantly, like, you just feel a turd in your stomach. I was like,
I'll tell you a story that'll top that. I'm driving to go to this audition, okay? And I'm driving, and this woman will not get out of the fucking way.
I know it's
clogging
coming.
up the lane, okay? I'm like pissed. I got to get to this audition, whatever. So there's a moment where there's a gap, and I fucking honk my horn, and I go past, and I'm like, fuck you.
No, you gave me a fucking finger.
I go, fuck you, yeah. And I like go around or whatever.
Does she motion back, finger you back or anything?
No, she's just like shocked because, she's on her phone or whatever. So I get to the audition.
Oh, it's amazing.
I literally walk in the door. It's her. It's her.
It's
her from the car.
It's her from the car.
She's the casting director.
She's the casting director that I'm reading for.
No.
I walk in the door. I see her. I walk right out. I didn't say anything. I opened the door. I didn't even say hi. I just shut the door and I walked back to my car.
You didn't say shit back. Did she notice you?
Thing.
Was it on her face that she it was you?
She knew it was me. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She knew.
Fuck.
Goodbye.
That's fucking sweet. All right, guys, we've been doing about an hour 15.
Yeah.
I want to just because I know we got to go. We're all going to see Bill Burr tonight, right?
Yeah, man.
Your Twitter, sir.
Steve Byrne Live, and I have a new hour special on Netflix, so feel free to watch that. It literally just came out.
Champion, baby.
It's called Champion on Netflix, yeah.
And Sullivan and Son, new season starts the 24th, right?
June 24th, yeah.
Switch to Tuesday nights?
Tuesday nights all summer, yeah.
Right.
And this season is definitely our best. I mean, we finally got it. Even though we say third season, it's technically our second because it's 10 episodes.
Right,
so we finally figured everything out. I think the dynamics there, the chemistry's there, the writing, everything. This is our best season. So
13 episodes this year, man.
Yeah.
Going
Great.
strong.
Okay. And anybody who listens to What Say You, of course, knows your...
At Roy Wood Jr.
How was the reaction from last...
You guys, fans, have shown me and my mother so much love in the wake of this Rod Stewart tragedy. You got to meet my mom
did,
Thursday. Yeah, we tried to get on the podcast, but my mom's like a college educator. So the last thing I need is her to lose her job because she came on here and one student said, yeah, I heard Dr. Wood on the fucking podcast. But yeah, you guys, thank you to all of the What Say You fans who've come out to support Sullivan and Son shows as well.
Yeah.
great. Oh,
More importantly, thank you for all of the aggressive tweets towards Rod Stewart.
Keep it up.
At Rod Stewart is his Twitter. And we won't stop until we get justice.
That's right.
Take a picture with my mom, Rod Stewart.
so funny.
Fucking
And then
punk.
we end every episode. Sal tries to call a stranger. It rarely works out, but we're going to see if it
This is
goes.
28. We've gotten in touch 3 times out of 28 or 29 times.
You just make up a number in your phone and then...
Pick up a number. I just dial it, and then if they pick up and they'll have us, we just start talking to them for as long as they want.
Okay.
Can't do that. Odds are in our favor that no one's going to pick up, but we'll see. Sometimes they just... One time the lady was like, fuck you, I'm sleeping, and she hung up. One time I'll talk to us for a good 10, 15 minutes.
About what? Just
Life.
Yeah, we slowly
love it.
broke down. You could tell she was like, I'm getting scammed. These guys are going to steal my identity. But then we told her who we were. She looked us up on the internet. Then the ice started to thaw, and we had a really boring conversation with her. It was great. It was great.
Yeah, I just get amazed at one point. We were like sitting there, I'm like, I could dial a number and talk to someone anywhere on this earth. It's like a lottery.
Yeah.
Which it's no kidding, but like it just blew my mind. I'm like, we should just try and call someone every episode. So, what's you guys have an area code?
let's call someone in Nashville. Start with 615.
Was it 615?
Yeah.
And while he's dialing, we should say we had a great time at the Wild West Comedy Festival. We hope we're invited back next year, because if we are, we'll definitely fucking be here. And And it's the first year, right?
This is the first year, yeah.
So it's if you got a chance, come. I mean, the mingling between who's on stage. I mean, BJ Novak came last night to watch your show. You guys hanging out, like it was just a giant party between the audience and who's on stage.
Great for the it's literally like a high school reunion for comedians because you get to see all these guys you haven't worked with in years.
Yeah, I mean that was it. The comedians mingling, but also the audience mingling with the. And I had mentioned that to Vince Vaughn, and he said that was one of the things he wanted, was it to seem like a party.
Yeah,
everybody was included in it, and man, did they nail it on the head.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's another thing. You guys do Air Force fun, and that's no, but really, that's a new thing you're doing at the Improv, right?
Yeah,
let them because I know people love to come see it.
Yeah, we've had some fun really with this show. I mean, like Kunal Nair from Big Bang came, Ken Jeong from The Hangover came, Bobby Lee's come through. It's just been it's a blast. It's a blast for us because it's one way to see stand up, but then to actually get to talk to the comedians afterwards and just kind of shoot the shit is a lot of fun.
That's what, Saturdays at 11 or something like that, 12?
Something like that, yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I just wanted to come down. You guys brought on Aisha Tyler yesterday.
Yeah, I got to make a joke about having sex with her last night, and I was very proud of that.
Mm-hmm. You guys came down?
Yeah. So check that out. All right, so here we go. I'm going to dial a number in Nashville.
Okay.
I just made it up, and I will put it on speaker, and we'll see what happens. A lot of times it's like...
Damn it. Just that quick?
Wow, that's just that quick.
Is not in service.
There you go.
If you feel you have reached this recording in error...
That's it.
There you go.
Okay.
We tried.
Thank you for listening to What Say You. Steve, thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank
It's
you
a blast,
so much.
gentlemen.
And,
thank you.
Sal, thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
And we'll talk to you guys next week.
I heard that Rome wasn't built in a day. Then how come everyone is rushing to get ahead? And if I seem to be reserved, that's just my way. Your questions seem like you're interrogating me. Yeah, I try. Then again, I don't try. I get an F for effort. I get a D next time. Okay. Here we go. I heard the lemon metaphor 4 million times, and I don't stand for lemonade, don't ask me why. And would a beverage stand be a job that be desired? And where would I get the wood, and should I try? Should I try? Then again, I don't try. I get an F for effort. I get a 65. Yeah, I try. Yeah. Then again, I don't try. I get an F for effort. I might as well just. I heard the currency don't grow like leaves on trees. Then how come my money comes and goes so seasonally? And I wish farmers planted plants instead of thieves. My friend pays a ton of green for greener groceries. Yeah, she tries. Then again, she don't try. She gets an F for effort. She'll plant a tree next time. Yeah, she tries. Then again, I don't try. I get an F for effort. I get a D next time. Yeah, I try. Then again, I don't try. I get an F for effort. I get a 65.